two CEOs of Fortune 500 companies come out and bring into the light the issue that this energy transition is a complete failure. It's a total botch. And it's not that they are against the idea of moving from fossil fuels into renewable energy. What they are attacking is the incompetence from governments, not only in Europe but also in the United States, and their policy approaches, which have basically crippled investment in fossil fuels, which have led us towards a situation which long term will lead to decreased prosperity, will lead to increased financial hardship. It will make things harder to afford basic goods and services for people not only in America but in Europe. We're talking 5 times worse, not even an exaggeration, at this very moment. So what may be coming in America as far as increases in fuel prices and food prices, we may have not seen anything yet. We've already seen a lot. You know, fuel prices have doubled. They've come down a little, but they're still at historically high levels. But in Europe, you're talking astronomical increases in the prices of energy. And again, what these two CEOs, Jamie Dimon and Michael Wirth, have pointed to is the fact that this energy transition is completely not grounded in any understanding of how energy works. It's not grounded in any understanding of how sustainability works. It's literally just a crash course, putting the world on a crash course, especially the West, because again, does China have caps on their emissions? Does India have caps on their emissions? Does even Mexico? No. I mean, China, Mexico, they're building new coal power plants every day. And one thing that's very interesting that Jamie Dimon brought up was that there was a congressional hearing on September 21st, where Rashida Tlaib asked Jamie Dimon, is your company going to stop investment in fossil fuels? And he said, no, of course not. That would be the road to hell for America. And then he proceeded to say, the world needs 100 million barrels per day, and the way they abbreviate that, 100 million BPD going forward over the next 10 years. And that's just a given, regardless of whether the renewable options are a success or not. For the next 10 years, the world needs 100 million barrels per day. And America has the capacity to actually produce, by some accounts, some people, I've talked to a lot of people in oil and gas, you're talking in California, in the Northwest. I mean, the U.S. potentially has even Alaska, I mean, all over the country has the capacity, which is untapped, to put Saudi Arabia out of business. But we've been, dancing in a global dance where some of the oil production comes from Saudi Arabia. A lot of it has to do with OPEC Plus. But Jamie Dimon basically said 100 million barrels per day is what is needed. And Michael Wirth said, well, we need for the next 10, 20 years, it should be a given that fossil fuels are going to be the source of energy. So any assumption that, fossil fuels are going to just magically disappear, we're going to phase out of fossil fuels immediately, is just absolutely preposterous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I think the bigger takeaway from all of this is just, again, how when you leave these major decisions to bureaucrats and unaccountable government officials who have no consequences for making these decisions that everybody else pays for, right? So if somebody's a bureaucrat or in a high government position and the gas prices double or triple, I mean, what difference does that make to them? Their stock portfolios and their insider trading, I mean, they've been making 10x, 20x returns. They don't care. But everybody else who's already struggling to pay the bills every month, we all get to pay for it. right? So this is tied to this theme I've been talking about the central banks. I mean, this stuff is all connected, but I just think that this was a milestone that two CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, one of them being an energy company and one of them being a major bank, coming out and saying this is out of control. And again, they're not even against an energy transition. They're just saying that the manner in which it's being carried out is extremely irresponsible. It's dangerous. The level of incompetence is out of control, and there's got to be some reining in here, you know, of realizing the difference between some pie in the sky, you know, a pipe dream versus what reality actually is, and to, you know, keep the trucks running so there's food on the shelves, versus, you know, saying we're gonna go to wind and solar, but then nothing works and nothing functions. So something to keep an eye on, and I will see you in the next video.